Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Wow. I did not see any. I didn't. Well, I did see some of it. Well, it's so shocking. Anyways, I begin as always in the matchless, glorious, and precious name of Jesus. This video is going to be doing my review of Arrow Season 3, Episode 21, Al-Sahhim. Wow, I didn't see. Wow, that was a pretty shocking ending. That was a pretty shocking ending right there. That was a pretty shocking ending and some pretty shocking stuff right there. Anyways, this video is, this episode opens up with Oliver just being in the routine of being brainwashed and or inducted, brainwashed straight into the league, brainwashed and being the heir, where there's this montage of him having this fight scenes with all probably being conditioned into the league as being heir, and he is and where there's this montage with him and Al-Ghul fighting, and there's one where he is being locked up in chains and stuff like that. So, and then at the end, he is told to off somebody this subject where he is off this subject of something off somebody, some bad guy, and it looks like a lot like Diggle, and it's like he put a sword through Diggle and he kills it. Puts a sword through the guy who looks like Diggle and offs him. In the meantime, we also get a mention of Damian Darkh, which probably sounds familiar. It sounds like Damian Wayne. And we also get one mention of a collection of Ross says something about a collection of hives. Of a hive, bees in a hive or something like that. Sounds like a mention of Hive, aka Hierarchy of International Vengeance and Extermination. Wow. Wow. Nice little call forward to the main villains of Season 4. And also we get a mention of Golem Kadir as well. From Season 2, Episode 16, Suicide Squad. And we get something and stuff like that. So that was really, really cool. So this time Oliver is called to capture Nyssa this time. Nyssa, and okay, I need to go back, and this is a cute scene right here. Felicity and Thea are feeding Sarah Diggle, and we see Sarah Diggle, and they're having dinner with Lila and John Diggle, and they are having chit chats with Oliver. No, wait, not chit chats about. They're having chit chats about Oliver, and Diggle turned down the idea of having a costume. So, and they're just like they're going to keep on remembering Oliver. So that's good. And then they are going there, and they are going through their stuff. They're chit chatting. No, wait. He is in the meantime. Laurel and Nyssa are heading on their way. Laurel's trying to stop a criminal. Laurel's trying to hold her own in the fight, and then they go into they see and then Nyssa comes in to help her when she's at night point. She puts arrows in, she uses trick arrows on them, and then they go off then they go off and they go have some dinner together. So I really like the interactions between them. It was awesome, but unfortunately it was ruined because Laurel decided to keep a secret of her father's. Keep a secret from Nyssa, namely that Oliver took up the role of heir to the League of Assassins in that episode. So it was a little sad and just ruined the happy moment between those two. Laurel really needs to stop keeping secrets for so long from other people. It does more harm than good. even if those secrets are true are truths that she doesn't that would hurt her. So, and then besides, also I have to mention Ross said there was 3 weeks that he was being trained. So, and then continuing, all of a sudden, before you know it, Sarah. Oh no, not Sarah, but Oliver and Oliver arrives there at the roof of a building with the several league members to capture Nyssa, and they have a good. There's a very excellent fight scene, and we see that Oliver has grown, gotten stronger, gotten better as a League of Assassins member, and he totally kicks Nyssa's butt and has have to take her out when all of a sudden Laurel Lance uses a canary cry and shatters every little window and Diggle's with her. And then Oliver decides to give up and he decides to leave. So, and they keep on going. By the way, I need to add that Team Arrow is officially in the law, officially in Palmer Technology. So, I had to use that place. And also Felicity and Diggle were totally against helping out Nyssa, but Laurel's like, we need to help her. So, and I have to agree with her. We can't just let this. Can't just let. Sure, she's a daughter of Al-Ghul, but that doesn't mean they have to. They should do this. They should let her be captured and possibly killed. So, and the next time Oliver comes in, they kidnap Lila. Lila's kidnapped, and they both call up Oliver, and he calls up Oliver and says. Oliver calls and says, we need to tell him that he has to be there with Nyssa, have a trade Nyssa for Lila. And by the way, there's more interaction between Felicity and Thea, which I loved, and Felicity tells her that there's that Oliver was brainwashed or mind controlled into doing the League's bidding. And so they go off and they need to. Thea wants to do something, but Felicity doesn't really want her to. And she goes to Malcolm. Malcolm says she's a warrior. She was conditioned to do so. And she asks for something. Presumably a costume. Anyways, Lila just said that Lila's trying to snap Oliver out of it. And they're like, doesn't seem to be working. They go there. They come there with Nyssa at their side and all wrapped up, and they're like, much after a little bit of resistance, Nyssa decides to give her up, but even though Laurel didn't want her to, and then they make the trade, and then all of a sudden Lila brings out guns, and in pursuit, before you know it, there is fighting everywhere, everywhere. It is awesome, very awesome stuff, and it got to the point where they still can't get away with Nyssa, and then they have to go in, and Oliver has Diggle at his mercy when out of nowhere an arrow comes through his sword, and then we see Thea in a costume. She's officially dressed up as Speedy. This is so exciting, and she says that leave him alone or I will put an arrow through your. Next arrow goes through your eye, and then Oliver leaves. It was good stuff. It's like they're all crying and sad and stuff, and they're like, it was also great seeing Nyssa in a tank top. It looked awesome. So, and it was like, we see everyone, each and every one of the members of Team Arrow, all by themselves, and they are crying like crazy. It's like all this stuff. This is sad. Oliver, the reason they're all in this crusade is gone. He's been poisoned by the League. And meanwhile, Felicity meets up with Thea at the loft and tells her that Roy is still alive, and she is so happy to hear that. So happy to hear that, and that she learns that he's faked his death, and she's so happy to hear that. And then. Meanwhile, back in Nanda Parbat, Oliver is told to kill Nyssa which he almost does, but that was just a test. Nyssa's way of testing. I mean, Raz's way of testing him, and then he says, "How about you? You are to marry my daughter, a forced marriage of my daughter." Something much to Nyssa's disgust. And then, also, last but not okay. Before I end here, I need to go to the flashbacks. The Omega bioweapon has been released, and lots of people are coughing up blood and all that stuff. And then they see some people try to see looking like they're about to. They both check up on Kyo. They both check up on the blood, the flashback. No. They check up on the. They check up. They go get. They see some people giving out what seems like a cure. Oliver thinks it's not a cure. It's just make people feel worse, and then before you know it, Oliver just raises his gun and tries to shoot up some of Shreve's men. They shoot back, and then Tatsu kills them. Tatsu helps him out and kills some of them both, and then before you know it, Akiho is infected with the virus, and blood is still coming out of his mouth. Now we have an idea of how he dies in the flashbacks. What does this have to do with the present day? Everything. And it seems that the last thing Raz needs Oliver to do for him to take up the role of take up the position of heir to Raz Al-Ghul is he has to take the Alpha Omega virus and spread it and use it to wipe out his home city, as every other head heir to Raz Al-Ghul has to do. Whoa. Now we have the whole thing. Now all the flashbacks are now relevant. I'm a little sad. I kind of wanted him to have Oliver just use it to wipe out the whole 90% of humanity, because in the comics, Ra's al Ghul is one of the few Batman villains who is a threat to the entire world, who believes that the only way ecological balance can be achieved is by wiping out 90% of humanity. But in all fairness, in the comic book, Ra's tried to achieve ecological balance by wiping out Gotham as well. So that, and probably even Batman the Animated Series. And also in Batman Begins, this is similar to Batman Begins, the movie Batman Begins, where he tries to wipe out Gotham as well. So I think that all adds up, fits together. But still, I would have loved for it, instead of just saving Starling City, he saves it. Oliver has to save the world. So anyways, this was a good episode. This was a very good episode. Very, very good episode. I'll have to give it either a 9.9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to give it a 10 out of 10. Good episode. Very, very good episode. I am so excited for the next episode. To come. Alright. That's all for this video.